Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another episode of Haunted Gaming. This time we do a Pokemon creepypasta called Nurse Joy. Now I know there are a lot of Pokemon creepypastas, but we haven't done one in a while. Plus this creepypasta isn't about some hacked game, but rather about the character of Nurse Joy. And I guess it can be considered part of the game as well, so I guess it can be called Haunted Gaming, but this creepypasta I actually have to do word for word since it's best told that way and summarizing it would leave out some detail. And with this creepypasta, detail is pretty important and summarizing it would not work in general. So anyways, let's begin. It all starts when you walk in the Pokemon Center. You walk up to her and see her bright pink hair. You greet her and she has this pretty voice that wasn't actually pretty to start with. You may or may not have a talk. She takes your Pokemon, turns around and heals them and gives them back. That's the usual routine. Most likely she'll be all nice and caring throughout the whole process. Give or take the personality she has, because supposedly each one is unique in personality. What you don't know is that she installed a tracking device in your Pokeballs. All 6 of them in case one falls off. Why? Well, when you entered the building she knew you'd be perfect. She knew you had the characteristics for the job. Plus, you were still a new trainer. The less known, the better. Anyway, she keeps you tracked and alerts the other Nurse Joys you might encounter. That way, when you get to one of them, well, let's just say so they can care for you. However, if one Nurse Joy sees a trainer they want and stays in the center to sleep overnight, their real fun begins. You're assigned a room, most likely a room near the back of the Pokemon Center. Can I take your Pokemon to another room so they can be healed and rested, she may ask? Say no. Just say no. It's their way to isolate you. All your belongings can go in this drawer, so you can lock it and keep your items safe while you sleep. She says in her voice, you know, but we'll soon not love. The Joys do this to keep you unarmed. Of course, you trust these kind nurses, so all the items you go into the drawer, and she gives you the lock. Good night, please. Enjoy your rest. She tries to comfort you, but if you look closely you may notice the fake face she has, because almost always they are full of excitement before the procedure happens. Can you guess the real reason now? If yes, then well done. If not, keep reading. At about midnight, usually when it's all dark and no living thing is up, except for our lovely and sadistic nurse, it all begins. A door to your room gently opens. There's no squeak or creaking noise because she was smart enough to oil the door, so no sound is made when it is opened. She comes in with a gurney, you know, those medical stretch things they use to carry injured people. Her face is not sweet anymore, but more devilish. She enjoys this ritual. She loves it. The rush, the adrenaline she gets, the red glow in her eyes. It's as if she's possessed by the devil himself. Although you're sound asleep, she doesn't take any chances, so she takes out her needle. No, it's not poison, but it's a liquid form of sleep powder, in a very high dose. An ounce could keep you asleep for, say, 2 hours. The needle had 10 ounces. She needs all the time she can get for the procedure to be successful. So you're knocked out on a gurney being pushed down the hall into a room that has been disguised as the nurses only room. If you ever somehow manage to see what's inside, here's what you would see. Severed limbs and appendages of different sizes in jars. Only ones that didn't transform properly. There are also testicles. Yes, she cuts them off. She drags the male's body underneath a saw tool that slices them off. She doesn't mind the bleeding. Actually, she collects it through a drain and jars it. You know, for when she needs a drink after all. The Joys do need a constant supply of blood. Now, the next part is her favorite. Joy takes a knife and slices it down the base of your neck, to your groin. She does this very gently because she enjoys it, and if you were to wake up, then you can suffer slowly. At this point, Joy's hair is not neat. It's covered with blood. Her face is completely changed. Her pupils completely blood red, and her teeth have suddenly grown a bit, causing them to look like fangs. No, she's not a vampire. Well, she could be, but that's not the point. Joy then has a smile that's a mix of a clown and a demon because she takes a bottle of serum with special DNA molecules in it, Joy DNA molecules to be exact. But before she does anything with it, Joy takes out all of your organs except for a couple like your heart and brain. She stitches your open incision, but it's not a decent job after all. It won't matter though. The serum needs to be directly poured on the brain for it to work, So naturally, Joy will take out a saw, a regular old saw, and slice your skull just enough for the brain to be showing. The serum is poured out after a few minutes. Your body is becoming more joy-like. The heart and brain are revived, while new organs, joy organs, grow in the empty cavity that is your body. All your cuts are healed, as if it were you had perfect skin. The process is complete. You wake up the next day wanting to work at a Pokemon Center. Anywhere would do, but you also have a DNA molecule forcing you to look out for minor trainers that could be the next Joy. Of course, with this comes the ability to do what has been done to you. The thing is, you think you are born identical to the other Joys. But why go through the trouble of making people turn into Joys? Why not just clone? Well, I found out that the original Joy would like to someday rule the world with an army of Joys that will do anything because it's their DNA to follow the original. It's in their DNA to follow the original. But cloning would attract too much attention, plus the whole I have a lot of sisters that are identical seems to have been a good story. There you have it, now you know. Wonder how I know this? Well, who's always with Nurse Joy? Who's the one in the background helping her? It's me, Chansey. Though I was told not to ever speak of this information even though I am a Pokemon. So my advice to you is come to the Pokemon Center at your own risk. You never know. The thing about the real Nurse Joy is she likes to hunt around by herself. So when you're all alone sleeping or just relaxing, don't think you'll be safe. I hear she has a nice demonic face to stare at you with. Oh, looks like she just chose another victim. I think it's you. Now, this is a pretty good creepypasta, and although there are things that are considered a huge stretch, such as DNA juice, which would make anyone who knows even the tiniest bit of medical knowledge cringe with the thought of how stupid this sounds, it's still a pretty decent creepypasta. The reason why it's creepy is because of Nurse Joy. I mean, she's one of the nicest, most innocent characters in all of Pokemon. And for her to be portrayed like this, it's kind of shocking, and in a way it makes me wonder about other characters like Officer Jenny. Could they be working together? I mean, come on. And, you know, this creepypasta, again, like, the thing that I guess makes it good is the fact that, you know, it sounds almost plausible if you think about it, because in Pokemon it's just, oh, they have a ton of relatives that all look the same. But, you know, as cutesy as Pokemon is, maybe if you look at the dark side of it, this could in fact happen. I mean, it's kind of creepy, but, you know, next time you go to a Pokemon Center, keep that in mind, I guess. But, this creepypasta did overuse blood to the point where it almost made my, you know, palm and face become really good friends. But I guess I can excuse it since the rest was actually decent, you know, as a whole. The detail was also nice and actually did add to the creepiness. And in the end, I thought it was decent, and despite the issues, which did in fact break the creepypasta at times for me, it was excusable enough for me to recommend it to you. You know, check it out, links in the description. Again, what would you rate it, and what would you change to have made this creepypasta better? This has been another episode of Haunted Gaming, and if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. This is me, Mudahar, from Some Ordinary Gamers, and I'm out.